Good day, everybody. My name is Charity Waini, and this is the Odyssey Show, a show that takes you on a journey of discovery and adventure in the fields of politics, arts, business, and science. On today's show, we discuss the Christian political thoughts. What does the Bible say about politics, and should it go hand in hand with Christianity? But before this, the news headlines. Kenya Breweries Limited seeks to rise up sales with more beer distributors. And on entertainment, Adele Onyango meets the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge at the Global Children's Media Summit. For these and more stories, join us at the top of the hour. My name is Charlotte. Welcome back to the Odyssey. I am Charity Wine. There has been a hot debate that has been going on social media about whether or not religious leaders should be actively involved in politics. In Kenya, we have had examples such as Margaret Wanjiru of the famous Jesus is Alive Ministries, who tried their hand in politics, and unfortunately, it went down south for her. The former Archbishop Eliud Wabukala is not an exception. Our reporter Lokeder Natiom spoke to a respected religious leader at Desta University who told us what the Bible said about politics and whether or not God is in it.
Philip Yancey once said that in no other arena is the church at a greater risk of losing its calling than in the public square. Most people still believe that politics is a dirty game and should be left to the ruthless and the faithless. Others think that Christianity is too conservative and uptight. But as Reverend Musili tells us, this is not the case. Here he is telling us whether politics is godly or not.
God looks at human life in entirety. And so he doesn't select on which areas you'll be interested and in which areas you'll not be interested. And looking at politics as a process of establishing or influencing governments, God is very much interested on how people are governed. And so yes, he is interested.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What are some of the instances in the Bible where politics is mentioned?
In fact, you'll be surprised that there is no mention of the word politics in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
However, God is at the center of the establishment of governments within, particularly in Israel. When you read from Genesis to Joshua, actually through Judges, you see God leading and people following until the children of Israel say they also want to have a king, just like any other nation around them. And even when they chose Saul, when he failed, God was interested in who now takes over after Saul. And so there isn't a mention of the word politics. However, God is interested in how the children of Israel are governed, who becomes their leader. And on several occasions, he's involved in even choosing when they ask him to be involved. But they don't. They choose their own king, and they fail because God is not there.
Yes, because we've been having this context where people say every leader is chosen by God.
Yeah.
What can you say about that?
I would say there's no authority except that which comes from God. And I would say yes. But you see, every leader comes to lead as a representative of God. Sometimes he will come, he will lead just to serve the better side or the good side of God's intentions. Some other times he will raise an evil king, an evil leader, to punish people so that people may retrace their way back to him. For example, when King Nebuchadnezzar became the king of Babylon, the Bible records clearly that God raised him up for a reason, to punish Israel. Of course, he is a just God and is a promise keeper. After King Nebuchadnezzar achieved his purpose, God turned to him and he said, you can't punish my people. He also punished King Nebuchadnezzar. So at times God will raise an evil king for a reason. But when evil becomes, when people can't turn away from their wickedness, God uses that king to punish the people so that they may turn back to him.
Is there an original context that God intended politics to be practiced by Christians?
Taking politics as a context within which we select leaders, I would say yes, God is interested in how people are led. But God's original idea of leadership is theocracy, God leading and the other people following. And that is clearly established in the leadership of Moses, in the leadership of Joshua, and of course sometimes, although Judges doesn't give a very good picture, but it is very clearly captured when we look at the leadership of Moses, the leadership of Joshua. These were the leaders of Israel. God was leading and the leaders were following him. Until they said, we've had enough of you, God, leading. I think we've learned enough, we can also try it. And every time we look at leadership outside God's perspective of leadership, we're bound to fail. Because God is the ultimate leader. And all the other leaders that are following now people at whatever level, they should first ask, what is God saying about the assignment that is given me? And anytime God is leading and the other leaders are following, people thrive. There's peace, there's justice, there's no corruption. Everybody enjoys that kind of a leadership. It is very, very important to notice that even during the times of Israel, we had good kings and we had evil kings. During the time of Joshua and the time of David, the Bible captures clear that it is only during that time that Israel enjoyed all God's promises that he had declared for Israel. Because Joshua was faithful in consulting with God. David was a man whose heart was after God. And so I would say that is the context that God has defined. Because he is ultimate. So the person that is coming to take up leadership, either at the national or whatever level, must be a person who obeys, fears, and loves God. And only then that we will say we are being led as we ought to be led. But of course we have brought up now systems like now political systems to kind of negate the presence of God. And now our minds have been dichotomized. And we treat politics as secular, while church as sacred. But as far as God is concerned, those two worlds do not exist. He's the author of everything, and he's in charge of everything. And so ultimately,
well, it is obvious that God created politics and has his own expectations of how it should be practiced, just like what Reverend Musili has said. But sadly enough, most Christians do not practice politics as it should be. We also found out from a religious leader who tried his hand in politics to find out what it is like to mix politics and Christianity.
From your experience as a religious leader, Reverend Chico, what do you think would be one of the reasons why someone would leave their responsibilities as a religious leader and head out to do politics?
One would for the thirst of money, because you know when you're a politician and you get into a political seat or politician's position somewhere, you get paid handsomely for a period of 5 years guaranteed.
Yes.
If you make it 10 years, 2 terms. And some people might look at what they would make in 5 years or 10 years in the church and what they would make in 5 or 10 years in political post. And they make that decision. They would rather make money than serve. But also there is an element of search for publicity. You're more public out there in politics than in your church, because in the church it's only the small congregation that know about you. So it's both thirst for money and also thirst for publicity.
Politics in the Christian context has always been seen as a highly debatable topic, and this place is a no-go zone for those who want to keep their salvation. We went out to the streets to find out what you think about mixing politics with Christianity.
Sioni ikiandamana pamoja kwa sababu gani? Wakati umeitwa na Mungu, umeitwa kwa ajili ya kazi yake. Alafu ukiingiza siasa pale, utasikiza lini sauti ya Mungu wakati ananena na wewe ili uende ukahudumie watu wake. Kwa hivyo kuna kuchanganyikiwa pale. Ukiingiza mambo ya siasa na neno la Mungu, utachanganyikiwa na utapotea. Itakuwa ni kama umechanganya mambo mawili. Na maandiko yanasema ya kwamba you can't serve two masters eternally.
Because I don't trust politics when it comes to in a Christian way. Yeah, it can't be 100% perfect, and you can't say you are a Christian then you are in a politics. Then, as the Bible says in Matthew, you can't serve two masters. And when you are ordained to God to preach the gospel, you have to stay on that position.
I will now leave you with a quote by Howard Crosby, who is a famous reformer and Presbyterian preacher, that states, "To let politics become a cesspool and then avoid it because it is a cesspool is a double crime." I have been a political reporter for the Odyssey show. My name is Lokader Natiol.
This week, we have learned quite a lot about the relationship between Christianity and politics. God expects us Christians to use our political gifts and capabilities for the good of His creation. Our quote for this week comes from a man known as Marcus Aurelius, who says, "Waste no time arguing about who a good man should be. Just be one." I have been your host, Charity Waini, and until next week, take care of yourself.